Medium property.
Oh, yeah, input capture. Oh, you're not picking. For the input capture, see it.
We apologize for the technical difficulties, but it should all be figured out now as we come at you live with 2 outs in the top of the first. With Chatham already leading 1-0. That's thanks to an error from behind the plate on a stolen base from Manny Garza allowed a Chatham runner to advance to third, and he scored on the base hit the following play. Kyson Donahue just popped out to third. Tyler Wilhoit's on first. He was held up. And now Bryce Martin Grudzelanek batting as the DH today. We've seen him a lot over at second base, but today that's not the case. Derek Fabian's at second, and Martin Grudzelanek, the designated hitter, he's down 0-1 with 2 outs. And that should have us caught up. Jason Doktorczyk is on the bump for the Red Sox. It's his second start for the Red Sox this season. His first start, he started out with an immaculate inning in the top of the first. That's not the case today, but has been a pretty solid showing so far. Already has 1 strikeout. The righty working from the stretch. The 0-1 runner goes. The throw from Garza bounces, but it's in time. And Wilhoit is gunned down, stealing second. That retires the side. Chatham puts up 1. And YD will look to bounce back when we're back for the bottom of the first inning on the Cape League. We are back for the bottom half of the first inning with Enzo Apodaca leading off back in that leadoff spot after yesterday he hit his first home run of the season in his first at-bat. In the leadoff spot at Brewster, YD won that one 9-6. Brewster had a late inning attempt at a comeback, but fell short once Boston Mabius came in to relief pitch and close things out in the 8th and 9th. Apodaca takes the first pitch strike. Chatham as well had an absolute heater yesterday, an 11-0 win versus Harwich. The 0-1 flies in above the shoulders, and that evens it up at 1-1. Chatham is either eliminated from playoff contention. They are eliminated from playoff contention. Apodaca flies it out towards the shallow outfield. Coming in, Brennan Holt from center, and he makes the grab. But they can still do some damage in the rest of the standings. YD is looking to clinch the East Division. They can do so with a win today and either a loss or a tie from Orleans. A loss from YD and a win from Orleans would make tomorrow's game very interesting as the two teams face each other. First pitch on the way to Ryan Stafford, flown in towards foul territory and out of play in those right side bleachers. Tommy Molsky starting off for the Anglers, 9 ERA, 9.0 through 24 innings pitched. This ball one drops low. A check from Stafford does not go around, and he's ahead 2 balls, 1 strike. Ryan Stafford, the catcher out of Cal Poly, but he's playing left field today. We've seen this a lot from the YD lineup, moving the position players around as this one is rolled over towards third base, backhanded by Wilhoit, and the throw over to first bounces away from the bag. Wilhoit can't handle it. Interesting to see if that'll be a hit or an error, and it is scored as an error from the third baseman. So Ryan Stafford reaches on the E5.
Yeah, I think Wilhoit thought he had less time there than he actually did. He rushed that throw over to first and didn't set his feet and had to make a really tough play. He had the time there. If he was able to set his feet, it would have been a much simpler throw, but YD gets a gift here in the first.
RJ Austin in the 3-hole. He's been there for a couple of games now after being stagnant in the leadoff spot for most of the season. The righty out of Vanderbilt, who just finished up a very impressive freshman campaign. One of very few true freshmen to start at Vanderbilt. As the count moves to a ball and a strike, got away from Melendez, but he kept it in front. He started all year for the Commodores and finished the season as the SEC tournament MVP for Vanderbilt, who won the tournament. Has a bright future ahead of him. Molsky delivers the 1-2. Or a check swing, now it's 2-1. RJ Austin, a U18 USA baseball alumna, high school All-American. He's from the state of Georgia, as ball 3 flies away in the opposite box. Haven't seen a ton of movement from Stafford on first. We have seen Coach Pickler send him as a runner in the base paths. He has a lot of speed, especially for a catcher. First pickoff move comes over towards first now. But Stafford diving back in there safely, counts 3-1 to Austin. For Molsky, the righty. It's a righty on righty matchup. Pitch on the way, big cut and miss from Austin, runs the count full. Stafford has a bigger lead, full count, 1 out. The payoff, bumped foul off the bottom of the bat. The hot pink bat that Austin's using, shining in the sun. I think it clipped his foot, so he'll walk it off a little bit. It's another scorcher out here, as it has been for this back part of July. We haven't seen a lot of rain since the beginning of the month, and it's been one sunny day after the next in the mid-80s. Another payoff, called strike 3 on the outside corner. Molsky just paints it, and Austin thought it was traveling further. Really nice strikeout pitch, and there's 2 gone for the Red Sox.
Next up,
Yeah, I thought that one was going to run away from the zone there, and it just didn't. It stuck in there and continued to straighten out for Tommy Molsky. It's a tough strikeout to take for R.J. Austin, but now you got a guy at the plate who can do some damage with 2 outs.
Strike one, runs in towards the batter. Against Montgomery, batting from the left side against the righty pitcher. He's a switch hitter out of Stanford, but currently in the transfer portal, who has a lot of power. 8 RBIs already. And he's only played in just about that many games. Oh, 0-2 count after that foul ball. Molsky kicks, steals. Strike 3 on the inside half. Tommy Molsky is getting the calls his way, and Braden Montgomery watches one go by. Molsky strikes out the last 2 to strand a runner aboard for the Red Sox, and the Anglers keep the lead 1-0 heading to the top of the second on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Bryce Martin Grudzelanek will lead off in the 5-hole for the Anglers here in the top half of the second against Jason Doktorzik, the righty hurler out of Nevada. First pitch comes in, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Martin Grudzelanek has been around for a couple of weeks now for the Anglers, plays at USC with Ryan Jackson. The 0-1, another cut and miss. Doktorzik is sneaking it by him. Martin Grudzelanek's father, Mark Grudzelanek, played in the MLB for 15 years. The 0-2 on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's what we've come to be used to seeing from Doktorzik. A lot of that swing and miss or soft contact. He's a strikeout heavy guy, a guy that can go a long time. We've seen him go 5-6 innings consistently, either as a starter or in middle relief. And he's been here since day 1.
Yeah, and part of the reason why he's able to go so deep in games is because when he gets ahead and counts, he's not afraid to attack the zone still. If he's ahead 0-2, a lot of guys, they're going to try to bury something. They're going to try to maybe get the batter to chase on a couple of pitches before getting back into the zone. Doktorzik will just throw you another strike and try to beat you that way, and leads to a lot of shorter at-bats.
Deals 2 first pitch balls here that miss outside. Against Caden Kent out of Texas A&M, a native of Austin, Texas. Standing in the lefty box, Doktorczyk kicks and fires. It's rolled up towards first. Gleed has it off the bounce, holds off Doktorczyk, and he'll take it himself for the 3 unassisted put out. Brings up Trace Wilhoit as Doktorczyk tries to face the minimum here in the top of the second, as Chatham has the 1-0 lead. The Wilhoit transferring to Lipscomb. Rips this first pitch out towards left field, going back to the fence, and it clears it by a mile. First pitch bomb from Trace Wilhoit, and the Anglers go up 2-0.
With that home run, Del Mar Vacations donates another $10 to Live and Work Cape Cod, an attainable housing fund.
That ball was crushed.
That was rocked. And tough one there for Doktorczyk, getting through the start of that inning so cleanly. That ball didn't even have necessarily a ton of plate. It was painted up pretty well on the inner half, but it was a good job by Wilhoit. Got his swing going early and got the barrel to it.
First pitch to Jaden Melendez flies in at the shoulders for ball 1. Wilhoit now 1 for 3 with a walk total against YD all season. As ball 2 runs just inside, and Melendez is ahead 2-0 with 2 outs in a 2-0 ball game. Chatham's direction. Doktorczyk into the wind. The 2-0 popped up behind us and out of play. Strike 1. Doktorczyk has such a fascinating stance on the mound with no runners on base. He squares himself completely to the plate and covers his face, almost trying to make himself as small as possible before going into that kick motion. The 2-1 flies in at the top of the zone, and it's called strike 2. A nice sweeping break motion. The 2-2 bounces away, and the count runs full once again. Manny Garza behind the plate today. He's been rotating in with Stafford. We will have a new catcher in the rotation as well for the Red Sox, who was added just today. That's Greg Bozzo from Northwestern. The payoff, swung on and missed, strike 3. It bounced. Garza puts the throw on to first. There was some confusion there about if it bounced or if it didn't, but the throw is in time, and Melendez goes down on strikes. Chatham strikes for 1 off the solo bomb from Trace Wilhoit, and YD has a 2-0 deficit heading to the bottom of the second on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Bottom of the second inning, and Hunter Hines leads off. During the break, we saw that Cole Mathis over at Kitei just hit his 11th home run of the season, tying Hunter Hines in both home runs and RBIs. The first time he's really been challenged up there in the top spot all season. Kind of crazy that Mathis has tracked him down, but he's been on fire lately as the 1-0 swung on and missed, strike one. Hines has kept his average approximately the same and swings this one. It's hit well out towards right field, but looks like Donahue will be underneath it. And he is, as Hines flies out to right field. But Hunter started off the season on a hot streak in terms of that long ball and has slowed down slightly, in part because teams just do not pitch to him over the plate. They've really learned their lesson. But Cole Mathis tracking him down for that MVP race. Travis Bazzana up there too, probably, in the MVP race. Who else would you think is up there?
It's a good question. I need to think about it.
Joe Oyama, sleeper
Joe
pick.
Oyama's definitely up there.
Ball and a strike to Darby, and he holds off on strike one.
Honestly, disregarding everyone except YD, because I, of course, have a biased opinion, but if I'm voting for anybody who's not a member of the YD Red Sox in the MVP race, I'm probably voting for Joe Oyama. He has been electric for Orleans this season.
He didn't have any home runs until the day before the All-Star game. The called strike two comes into Darby that counts 2-2. He has 5. Since the Friday before the All-Star game, he hit 2. In a doubleheader against Chatham, he hit 1 in each game. Since then, he's added 3 more, so 5 home runs in the last week and a half. Darby pops it out towards shallow left field, coming back Wilhoit. Campton makes the grab for out number 2.
And he's a triple machine, too.
Next up,
Was on pace as of a couple of weeks ago. I don't know where he stands right now, but he was tracking to break the all-time Cape League record for triples. He's got wheels.
First, these league leader statistics as ball 1 flies into Glebe. In the pitching, YD is very well represented. In terms of top strikeout numbers, YD has 3 in the top 8 as Glebe pushes it foul. Once again on the ground, that's Finnegan Wall, followed by Smith Pinson and Landon Beidel. She's up there in the strikeout numbers. The ERA, YD has 3 of the top 7 as well. The pitching's been there all season for the Red Sox. The 1-2 swung on and missed. Strike 3. YD has been retired almost in order up to this point, save for the error that Ryan Stafford reached on. And we head to the top of the third. Chatham continues to lead 2-0. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the third, Derek Fabian leads off as it was a relatively quick one in the top half of the second for YD, but Chatham added one on a solo home run. They lead 2-0. First pitch on the way from Doc Torzik flies away for ball one. Fabian in the 9-hole playing second base today. Has had 7 plate appearances all season against YD. He's 2 for 6 with a walk. The 1-0 pushed foul behind us, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 chopped foul picked up in the YD dugout. Fabian out of Florida, go Gators. Batted .289 there in 2023, just finished up his sophomore year. He's a native of Ocala, Florida, right in the heart of Florida. The 1-2 flown into foul territory, and that'll pass the bleachers. 3 foul balls in a row now has the count at 1-2. Doc Torzik kicks and deals. Just pushed foul at the last minute. Fabian saw it breaking towards the zone. Really nice looking pitch from Doc Torzik, but the late swing managed to foul it off. Fabian, as a native of Florida, grew up wanting to go to Florida. He's been a Gators fan his whole life. He dreamed about attending one of the best public universities in the country. The 1-2, a mile high in the infield, Gleed underneath it, and makes the grab, out number 1. A lot of foul balls and a long at-bat for Derek Fabian. He comes up fruitless as the lineup flips for the first time to Brennan Holt, who reached on a walk in a 10-pitch at-bat off Jason Doc Torzik. It was a long one to start the game. Gave us a little bit of time to figure out our technical difficulties before the end of the first inning. First pitch on the way. The fastball over that outside corner, strike 1. YD evenly spaced in the infield. Darby pulled in on the third base corner in case of a bunt as ball 1 flies away, breaks the opposite direction and cannot find the plate. The 1-1, a little too high, and that's ball 2. Holt awaits the 2-1, and it drops low, ball 3. (3-1) off the plate, and Brennan Holt walks for the second time today. That's what you want out of your leadoff, a guy that's going to get on base, and he does. He's done so twice today in 2 plate appearances. Brings up Lane Forsyth, who went down swinging in his first time around. Righty on righty, Holt with a big lead. Stole a base last time on the base paths. He came around to score Chatham's first run after an error from Garza on the throw down to second, snuck past Austin into the outfield. He was pushed ahead on Tyler Wolford's single. The next guy around as he goes again this time, and it comes in and drops out of Garza's glove. So there won't be a play on it as Holt takes a second back.
It's tough, just got it off the edge of the glove and couldn't squeeze it for Garza. Might have had a shot there at Holt. That eliminates the force.
Holt, clearly a very fast guy. Not the biggest guy on the field, but he's crafty on the base paths. He has 2 stolen now, and he's gotten a really good jump both times. A really nice sweeping pitch from Doktorzik. Drops in there for strike 1. The 1-1 runner bluffs, runs inside, and he says it hit him. Maybe clipped a piece of the jersey. But Chatham now, runners on first and second.
Next up, out of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, it looked like that
Tyler
just
Wolfert.
got a piece of the letters there, and Doktorzik has not given up too much in this one, but it's been just little things so far. The 1 home run is what sticks out, but some free passes from him, uncharacteristic early on.
Fresh count for Tyler Wolfert, who's 1 for 1 today. He has one of Chatham's 2 hits. And Doktorzik calls time. First pitch on the way, runner goes to third. Throw from Garza's a bullet, and he gunned him down. Perfect from Manny Garza. Holt disagrees, thought he snuck a hand in there, but that was perfectly placed to Darby. Tough to get around that righty batter, but Garza did a nice job maneuvering and throws out the lead runner.
Yeah, it's always a risky play to steal third, but with the righty at the plate, it makes things a little bit easier, but we've talked about a couple of times how good Garza is at throwing out runners. Did it a lot during his college season. He needed a perfect throw there and had one.
Wolfert pops it up towards foul territory on the third base side. Darby's there, and that's out number 3. Doktorzik makes his way through his first scoreless frame, and we head to the bottom half of the third when we're back on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Out of Rice, number 20.
Bottom of the third, and Manny Garza leads off for the Red Sox. YD finally making their way to the bottom of the order. Garza, soft contact up towards the pitching mound. Molsky has it and tosses it in time to Wilhoit at first. Bobbled it for a second, but Garza, not one of the faster runners on the team, and he is gunned down by Molsky. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Next up, out of San Jose State, number 11, Theo Hardy.
Theo Hardy's first time at the plate. He's been seeing the ball much better lately. He's made some adjustments with the wood bats. First pitch Flies high, ball 1. Molsky has really been getting that strike call on the inside corner, particularly running in on lefty batters. 1-1 is low. That's the same pitch that we saw. Somebody was retired on a. There were two called strikeouts in a row, and that was the second one. As the 2-1 is ripped into right field, just sneaks over the glove of Trace Wilhoit. And Hardy has the first hit of the day for the Red Sox.
He's been seeing the ball really well lately, and time for Theo Hardy to get hot. It's a very good time, too, as with the season winding down, the Red Sox hoping he can carry that hot bat into the playoffs. But there's another, just a hard line drive from a contact hitter. Turn the lineup over to the top.
Enzo Apodaca looking for his first hit of the day, and he takes the first pitch strike. He flew out his first time around. Hardy swinging his arms at first. Pitch on the way outside, ball 1. Check swing. Called strike 2. After an interesting twirl of the hand. Not sure what that signal was, but Apodaca is down 1-2. Swings, and misses. Strike 3. Tommy Molsky has been dealing so far versus the Red Sox. He already has 4 strikeouts through this first 2 2/3.
Yeah, Molsky's not super strikeout heavy normally. 24 innings, 14 strikeouts this season, but he has been mowing these Red Sox hitters down. See if as they start to get further through this second time through the order, they can figure him out.
Stafford takes ball 1 away. Tommy Molsky plays at Penn State. He's a native of Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. Stafford puts it fair territory, third baseline, rolling towards the fence. Hardy rounding second, heading for third. He's held up. And Ryan Stafford, perfectly placed at the third baseline, does the stanky leg over at second to celebrate. And YD, the 2-out rally starting up, 2 runners in scoring position with Austin at the plate.
Austin's the guy you want at the plate here. It's unfortunate for Theo Hardy that he was intending to bluff his steal because he got a couple of steps off with the pitch and then took 1 step back right as that ball was hit. If he didn't do that, he probably could have scored on that double, but the intention there was to bluff. Stafford just ripped one, but R.J. Austin, a good contact guy at the plate.
Takes strike 1, painted at the top of the zone. Austin was one of 2 rung up in the first frame. Puts this one softly towards second. Off the bounce, Fabian makes the play in time towards third. That was the Red Sox' best scoring chance yet. But they strand 2 and are still scoreless heading to the top of the 4th. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
2-0 Anglers here in the top of the fourth inning. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei on hand for this one on this Monday afternoon from Red Wilson Field. A beautiful Monday afternoon that has turned pretty warm as the day has gone along. Jason Doktorzik back out onto the mound for YD. Nice backdoor sweeper in there for strike one to Kyson Donahue. Popped out to third base in his only at bat so far. Donahue fouls that one off himself, and it's 0-2. Honolulu native plays at Hawaii Manoa for his college ball. .269 hitter this season. 3 home runs and 9 driven in for the Anglers. Pushes that one foul, and he will see another at 0-2. Anglers have a chance to play spoiler. They played what was probably their best game of the season yesterday, their first game since being eliminated from the playoffs in an 11-0 rout over the Harwich Mariners last night. Donahue takes the ball low, 1-2. Red Sox need to gain 1 point on Orleans today, and that would earn them the division title. Swing and a miss on the 1-2. That's strike 3. The fourth fan from Jason Doktorzik, and there's one away in the fourth inning. We'll bring up Bryce Martin Grudzalanek.
Number 56, Bryce Martin Grudzalanek.
Already gone through a few of the clinching scenarios for YD, so if they win today and Orleans either ties or loses later tonight, they've got a 6:30 start against Harwich. The Red Sox will clinch the title. YD can also clinch today if they tie and Orleans loses their game.
It's a tight one, just 3 points separating the Red Sox and the Firebirds at the top of the division. The playoffs are set.
Runner on first with one away for Caden Kent. He's 0 for 1. Really kind of fun how both division races panned out this season. Of course, in the East, YD had a decent-sized lead. It's actually shrunk pretty significantly.
YD was up to 9 points ahead at 1 point, but Orleans has been on a tear.
But I think what caught a lot of people's attention was how close the West Division got, because at mid-season it did not look like it's pretty impressive considering where it was at mid-season. He goes down 0-1.
Theoretically, Hyannis, if they win all three and Katuitt loses all three, could take the from-behind victory, but unlikely.
Katuitt already up 4-0 on Brewster. Check that, it's now 5-1 in the fifth inning. Kettleers would need to lose out for Hyannis' division title hopes to stay alive. Garza hopping up to catch that one. It's 1-1.
On the chance that YD loses today and Orleans wins, it'll be a 1 point lead for the Red Sox in the division heading into tomorrow when the Red Sox host the Firebirds at home. They swept Orleans in back-to-back games last week. But what an end to the season that could be. So YD has led almost the entire season in that division. And even if Orleans, theoretically, in that situation wins, then it would come down to the final day. Orleans win, you win the division. And YD win, you could maybe win if Orleans loses. But you always want to have your fate in your own hands.
Kent takes the ball outside 2-2. That Orleans and YD matchup throughout the years has become something of a nice rivalry. These two teams in Orleans and YD, not necessarily geographic rivals in this league as others of those exist, but a lot of close ties between the two squads. This one hit pretty well out towards right field. Back going Montgomery, back near the wall, and it's out of here. Caden Kent, deep fly number 2 this season. One swing, and Chatham doubles their lead. 4-0 Anglers in the top of the fourth.
It's a brutal blow for Torzik. He had runners aboard. He had a 2-strike count. To give up 2 long balls now through the first 3 1/3. We might see his day cut a little shorter than we're used to. That's Blake Ida warming up over there in the YD pen.
Ida available for middle relief today. Torzik with a comeback pitch strike against Trace Wilhoit, who hit a home run off him. The lone time these two teams have faced, these two batter and pitcher, I should say, have faced in this game. That was Wilhoit's second home run of the year. Bumps it foul, and the count moves to 0-2. He has just 4 hits on the year, and 2 of them are home runs. Wilhoit hit 17 in the last 2 seasons, both years at Lipscomb. Swings and misses at this 0-2 pitch, and he goes down. 4 strike 3, second strikeout of the inning for Torzik. The swings and misses have not been an issue for him today. He's been hurt by the long ball. 2 away, and the base is clear for Jaden Melendez, one of the strikeout victims the first time through the order against Jason Torzik. Nice sweeper to get a swing and miss from Melendez for strike 1. Swing and a miss on the 0-1 offering, and it's 0-2. YD's put together some late inning comebacks before, but racking my brain trying to think of a time like this where they trailed in the middle innings and were able to rally to take a lead before clutch time. As that one's fouled off, it'll stay 0-2.
It's happened against YD as they were up 4 on Harwich, and Harwich had a 5-run 8th inning to come back and win the game.
0-2 is ripped foul on the left side. Middle innings were kind to the Red Sox yesterday. That was in a tied game that they went into the 4th against Brewster and outscored the Whitecaps 7-0 across the 4th, 5th, and 6th to take hold of that game in the win. Oh, 2 soft pop-up, left side of the infield. Hardy plays it for the 3rd out of the inning. And Torzik gets out of it after the 2-run shot. A homer from Caden Kent increases the lead for Chatham. It's 4-0 Anglers as we head to the home half of the 4th inning. It'll be Montgomery, Hines, and Darby. That's the power part of the order when we come back on the Cape League Broadcast Network. The hole has gotten deeper and deeper for the Red Sox. They're going to try to dig themselves out of it. Here in the bottom of the fourth, YD has 2 hits but no runs so far as they trail Chatham by 4. Tommy Molsky has been a stalwart so far for the Anglers. Montgomery hammers one foul on the first pitch. That nearly clocked the head of Cameron Trudel on first base.
Would have been a concussion ball for sure.
That's why they wear helmets nowadays. Check swing, and Montgomery went around. It's 0-2. Montgomery 0 for 1 with a looking strikeout. Molsky deals, and Montgomery fights it off. Still no balls and 2 strikes. YD has struggled to get hits off of Tommy Molsky. They've struggled really to just put the ball in play and get good contact. Only guy who's really hit a ball hard so far has been Ryan Stafford, who has a double. Swing and a miss in the dirt. It'll require a throw towards first, and it is high and over the head of Wilhoit and past the second baseman, Derek Fabian, who fell on top of that ball as Montgomery will second on the drop third strike. Fabian just took a tumble. Montgomery, after that throw got over the head of Trace Wilhoit at first, was thinking 2 the whole way, but he will make it into scoring position, and maybe the gift the Red Sox needed to put a man in scoring position for Hunter Hines, who's 0 for 1. Second error of the game committed by the Anglers. And E2. Hines takes a breaking ball strike, 0-1. As we referenced during his last at-bat today, for the first time in a long time, way back since the beginning of the season, he has lost his home run and RBI lead, solo lead, I should say, as he is now tied with Cole Matheson of Kitei.
Cole Mathis has been on a tear. He came here on his birthday and hit 2 home runs that moved him ever closer to Hines. They were tied at 10 before Hunter put its 11th over the wall, but of course Mathis responded quickly, and now they're tied up. I think it's even crazier how they're exactly tied at 39 RBIs.
Hines hits this one super high out towards right. Donahue looks like he's under it, and he is, making the catch. Montgomery will tag for third, and he will reach there safely.
A long fly out for Hines. Thought he might prove me wrong and take back the lead with number 12 right there, but held up just at the fence.
I think that just goes to show the muscle and power that Hunter Hines has, as he's very frustrated, headed back to the dugout, but you get under the ball that much, to see it carry as far as it did is pretty impressive. Runner on third, 1 away for Xander Darby. Chatham not too concerned with him potentially bringing in the first YD run of the game on a ground out, as they've got the infield pushed pretty normally in their spots, other than Tyler Wolford at third, who's level with the bag. This one rolled over to second. It will score a run. Comes up, nearly handcuffs Fabian, but he handles it and throws out Darby at first. Run comes in to score, as it's an RBI ground out for Xander Darby. It's something for YD. A little closer now in the bottom of the fourth. 2 away for Dub Gleed.
Number 4, Dub Gleed.
It's nice to get something on the board. You're not going to be shut out. You're getting better contact.
Lead takes a beautiful breaking ball for strike 1. 15th RBI of the season for Xander Darby. Lead foul tips the 0-1 offering. No balls, 2 strikes. Blake Ida continuing to warm up out in the YD bullpen. Jason Doc Torzik so far has given up 4 runs off 3 hits, but his day might be over after 4 innings. So we might see Ida for the 5th. 0-2 off the end of the bat, up towards second. Fabian up with it, and he throws over to first in time for the 3rd out of the inning. Red Sox, though, get a gift on the error. Braden Montgomery reaches on the drop third strike and comes all the way around the bases to score. It's 4-1 as we head to the 5th inning. Chatham looking to add on to their lead. 9-1-2 due up when we come back. You're watching Windy Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Blake Ida taking over on the mound in a 4-1 game led by Chatham. Top of the 5th inning, Luke West Poley, Perri Kitei alongside. Penultimate home game of the regular season for YD. They will be guaranteed at least one more home game as there will be some playoff baseball coming to South Yarmouth coming up this weekend. That will kick off Cape League playoffs as YD will probably play the Brewster Whitecaps, but we can't say it for sure just yet. Derek Fabian goes after the first pitch and lifts it up over near the mound. Doug Lee coming a long way. Xander Darby calling him off from the other corner, and he makes the catch. One pitch, one out. Second pop out by Fabian. That starts off the 5th.
Something like that, you always hold your breath when you watch the entire infield converging on it because it just feels like somehow it's going to drop, but nice communication there, and Darby ended up with it.
So back to the top of the order for Brennan Holt, who has worked 2 walks and 2 plate appearances. Squares to bunt, puts it down in front of the mound. Garza calls off his pitcher, and he's got no play. What a day it's been for Brennan Holt. After the 2 walks, playing some small ball, it's a bunt single for the leadoff hitter for Chatham, and they've got a man aboard in the 5th.
Speaking of communication, that was a missed one there. You could see Garza wanted to go for it, and then he hesitated. He thought Ida was going to do it. Ida hesitated, thinking Garza's going for it, and by the time Garza picks it up, there was just no more play on the ball. Nicely placed bunt about halfway up towards the mound. It was a tough play. But Brennan Holt now has reached 3 times on 3 plate appearances with 2 walks and a bunt single.
First pitch is a strike.
Ida has consistent relief pitchers all season, and he's been up there at the top of the Cape League in terms of rotation numbers on his breaking balls. He gets a lot of vertical and horizontal break, causing a lot of that swing and miss action.
0-1 the count to Lane Forsythe as Garza goes out to talk to Blake Ida. First visit we've seen out to the mound from Garza. Pretty big lead on first as Ida throws over to check on Holt. A lot of activity on the base pads in this game. That was how Chatham got it going. The pickoff to first is not in time. That was a close one. Ida timed that up pretty well. Had Holt stepping towards second when he threw over. Holt looks a little more cautious now on first, making his lead slightly smaller. And Ida will throw over again.
He's 2 for 3 on stolen bases today. He was thrown out at third by Garza, but has successfully taken second twice now.
This one. Double play depth up the middle for YD as Ida will throw over again. It's a low throw that Doug Gleed handles. Doug Gleed said he likes playing first base in summer ball because he doesn't have to work as hard defensively, but he has had to work, it has felt like, since being put over there, and he has done a really good job for a non-natural first baseman as Ida sprays the 0-2 outside. I mean, he's turned double plays from first base. He's made nice catches. He's made nice picks. He's been a wall over there. He's not a huge first baseman like you normally see, but this is a pop-up. Might be playable for Garza all the way to the fence, and it's just off the top of the fence. Here at Red Wilson, Ida out of the stretch. And slides off the plate, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Struck out 17 so far in 15 2/3.
Forsyth has already struck out once today and reached on a hit by pitch that barely skimmed his jersey.
This is his first at bat against Blake Ida. Third batter that Ida has faced out of the bullpen. He's been a mostly late reliever for YD, but coming in here in middle relief. One of 2 Kennesaw State Owl pitchers on this staff, and he balked. Home plate umpire Sam Finn was all over it. Ida called for the balk, and that moves the runner up from first to second. So 2-2 the count. R.J. Austin moving over as the middle infield pinches slightly for YD, mostly on the right for Austin at second. Ida will throw back to the base. Austin covering it, but plenty of time for Holt to get back, who read that pickoff move very well. Two balls and 2 strikes the count. This ball hit into foul ground on the left side. Darby racing after it and now slowing up. That ball is way out of play. Decent crowd on hand here at Red Wilson Field for a Monday game that flew into the lot of them over on the left side. Fans taking in the second to last home game of the regular season for YD. Their final will be tomorrow. Long at bat, 2-2. And we'll see another ball 3. Patience at the plate for Chatham. Manny Garza calling time from behind the plate. I'd be interested if we had a time clock on how long this at-bat has been. It has lasted a while due to a number of pickoffs. Payoff, ball 4.
Tough break for Ida. That one missed just above the zone on the break. It didn't get the vertical that he was hoping for, and Wilhoit held off, so running up the pitch count early here.
First base was open, so that sets the force back up for Tyler Wilhoit, who has singled and popped out in this game. Red Sox have not turned a double play yet in this one. First and second, Chatham threatening here in the 5th. They've only stranded 1 runner on base so far. Big swing and a miss as Ida goes challenging on the first pitch fastball for strike 1. Left on base tally has been deflated slightly by the fact that a couple of anglers have been thrown out on the base paths. A knee lift and a fake back towards second by Ida to reset. No balls and a strike to Tyler Wilhoit. 259 hitter. Who has seen Ida before, but he's not gotten a hit off him yet. 1-1. Ida has thrown 12 pitches, has had what feels like as many pickoffs, and paints the black to make it a 1-2 count. It's been working away from Tyler Wilhoit. See if the inside half is potentially open for Ida. One, two popped up. Garza gives it a look, but that is far gone. Still 1-2 the count. If you're just joining us, Chatham has scored 4 runs, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 in the fourth. They've hit 2 home runs, 1 solo, 1 2-run. Those both came off wide starter Jason Doktorczyk, as Wilhoit sprays the 1-2 foul. Just 1 out still in the top of the 5th. YD got their 1 run in the bottom half of the 4th. Wilhoit holds off, and it's 2-2.
The patience displayed at the plate today has been impressive, to say the least, from Chatham. They have run up these pitch counts on YD since the beginning.
Hit in the air, left side. Darby slowing up to it in foul ground makes the catch for the second out of the inning. 17 pitches and now 2 gone for Blake Ida in his first inning in relief. First and second 2 away for Kyson Donahue, who's off to an 0-for-2 start with a strikeout and a pop-out to third base. Xander Darby has caught 4 pop-ups in this game. Seen a lot of action, and he's been good over in the hot corner for YD. Hasn't been a lot of hot stuff towards him. A lot of balls he's had plenty of time to get to, though. First pitch breaking ball sweeps in for strike 1 to Kyson Donahue.
Donahue's 0-for-2 with a flyout and a strikeout.
Pumps that one foul, and it'll move to 0-2. RJ Austin is backed up into shallow right. Theo Hardy covering the second base bag from short. Ida trying to hang a 0. 0-2 is a fastball away. Donahue takes it. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Ida about to throw pitch number 21 in his first inning in relief. It's been mostly 1 to 2 inning type of guy. So the 1-2 is just tipped foul. Ida has gone as many as 4 innings, but that was a one-off type of game that came against Falmouth in a 4-4 tie way back on June 18th. Other than that, he has 1 game against Kitei in which he went 2 1/3. The rest of his appearances are all 2 innings or less. This is his 10th appearance out of the bullpen. 1-2 curls low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two and 2 the count. Strike 3 called. Ida throws the backdoor breaking ball, and despite a couple of base runners, puts up a 0 in the top of the 5th. Bad news for the Red Sox. Any momentum they may have gotten from that last half inning is likely gone after a lengthy fifth, but they will look to come to the plate and cut into this lead when we come back. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Manny Garza leading off for YD in the bottom of the fifth inning. Red Sox have not led in this game. They're trailing 4-1 our score. First pitch is a strike from Tommy Molsky, who is back on the bump for Chatham. Oh, 1 pitch. And Garza fouls. Oh, that's a fair ball actually up towards the pitcher. Molsky throws over in a nice stretch by Wilhoit. Looked like that ball might have gone off the foot of Garza, but instead it's his second straight slow roller to the left of the mound, and both times he's been thrown out. One away in the bottom of the fifth.
I think everyone was confused on that play, including Garza. The end of it, he had a lot of time to make his way up the line. Molsky still threw him out, but I think he might have thought it was foul.
Back-to-back switch hitters as Theo Hardy bats from the lefty box. Say held up his swing on the first pitch. It's ball 1. Tommy Molsky has thrown 57 pitches. 42 of them have gone for strikes. And there's another there, 1-1. Molsky, the Penn State Nittany Lion, will be playing under a new coaching staff next year. Flared out towards left. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Theo Hardy's 2 for 2.
He has been on fire lately and been placing it perfectly over the infield. Not going for extra bases, but he's been doing a really good job bolstering that bottom of the lineup in the 9-hole. Now flips it over with a runner on base and only 1 out.
Enzo Apodaca 0 for 2 with a fly out and a strikeout. Theo Hardy has now come up twice with hits. They'll say Apodaca went around, and that's strike 1. Exact same situation in both at-bats for Theo Hardy. Came up with the bases empty and 1 out after Manny Garza grounded out on a slow roller to the pitcher, and both times he ended up with a base hit.
YD has left 3 on board so far in a 4-1 ball game. Chatham has really limited the free passes today.
Tommy Molsky has not walked or hit any batters in this one. The only real mistake was not his fault, but there's been 2 Chatham errors. One of them allowed Braden Montgomery on base, who struck out, but reached on to drop third. Apodaca pops this one up into foul ground on the left side. Wilford giving chase near the line, and he made the catch, but he's out of play. And so Apodaca gets a gift here at Red Wilson Field. If you're outside the white chalk line, that is not in the field of play. And Wolford just had a foot over it there. And so instead of an out, it'll be a 1-1 count to Enzo, who stands back in.
The YD dugout was fired up about that, all mimicking the umpire's out-of-play signal. They've got the perfect view of it right on that chalk line.
See if Enzo can take advantage here. He's ahead in the count 2-1. Beg your pardon, ball and 2 strikes the count. As Apodaca had that check swing strike on the initial offering. So it's 1-2 to Enzo. That pitch rides in, gets away briefly, but Melendez, as he has done a couple of times, gets to it quickly. It's 2 balls, 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Apodaca. And the pitch is high for ball 3. Now the count is full. So we'll see a payoff to Apodaca. Theo Hardy on first. Pitch checks.
Tiniest bit of difference can become really, really big in a game like this where you just need more base runners.
6 strikeouts for Tommy Molsky through 4 2/3. Ryan Stafford takes a strike. He scorched a double into left field his last time up. Theo Hardy was on first base, but was not able to score. Oh, 2 to Ryan Stafford. He's 1 for 2. He's reached base both times. His first time came on an error by Tyler Wilhoit, the third baseman for Chatham. Oh, 2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Molsky got him to chase. He's got 7 Ks through 5 innings. And the Red Sox fail to play to run once more in the 5th. It's 4-1 Chatham. YD looking to turn this game around in the back half. When we come back, Blake Guida returns to the bump on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Anglers 4, Red Sox 1. Top 6 from Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth. Bryce Martin Gredzelanik leads off for Chatham. As the Anglers continuing to lead over the Red Sox. Chatham's been playing good ball since they were eliminated from playoff contention. And a dominant win yesterday and a game that they have suffocated YD in so far. Gredzelanik fouls that one back. It's 1-1. Ida gets the swing and miss, and it's 1-2 as Martin Gredzelanik fouled that one off. Ida got 1 strikeout in the last inning, 2 pop-outs, and stranded a pair on the base paths to hang a 0. Chatham has scored in 3 out of the 5 innings so far. 1-2 check swing. Two balls and 2 strikes to Bryce Martin Gredzelanik, who his last time up was nailed by a pitch and then proceeded to score on the homer from Caden Kent. Swing and a miss on the 2-2. Ida got him to chase, and that's the first out of the top of the 6th inning.
Next up, out of Texas A&M.
Caden Kent is 1 for 2 with the aforementioned home run and a ground out to first. Whitey will shift and bring 3 to the pull side on the right.
Blake Ida this season is averaging just over 1 strikeout per inning pitched, and keeping that up here with 2 quickly. He's done a nice job. Kent, one of 2 home run hitters of the day, back up.
A 1 count to Caden. That pitch misses just off the corner. It's a ball and a strike. Blake Ida, one of the few pitchers for YD who has been here since the very beginning. Swing and a miss on the 1-1 offering. It's a ball and 2 strikes. I believe Ida, Pinson, O'Hara, and Wall are the 3 that have been here the whole time, as that one's ripped foul.
Torzik as well. Doc Torzik has been here since day 1.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Caden Kent. YD does not have any catchers from the beginning of the year that are still on the roster. Ryan Stafford has been the longest tenured, but had a break in the middle. 1-2, just underneath the zone. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And in terms of position players, Day, Hunter Hines, and Enzo Apodaca. The 2-2 was fouled off.
Austin's been here for most of it. He and Hines came in on back-to-back days in June after maybe the first 2 or 3 games of the season, but have been here since then.
Two-two hit out towards straightaway center. Apodaca ranging forward makes the catch. 2 gone.
Next up, out of West Palm.
2 away for Trace Wilhoit. Point being, this team looks a lot different now than it did 2 months ago. Game 42 of the season for YD out of 44 in the regular season. Red Sox on a quest to pick up the Cape League title. There has not been a 1-2-3 inning on the Chatham side of things yet in this game. Ida trying to work the first as Wilhoit fouls that one off.
Just 4 hits for Chatham, but those 2 long balls have been the difference makers.
They've brought in 3 of Chatham's 4 runs. The other was aided by an error that moved a runner from first to third, a stolen base, and then an extra bag on an overthrow. 0-2 is a fastball off the plate. Garza was set up outside. Pitch got him right where he put his glove, but it was not in the strike zone. He yanks the 1-2 outside now, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's felt like YD pitching has struggled at times to put away hitters in this game. Free passes were an issue for Doc Torzik. The 2-2 was fouled off, and it was not due to anything that he was wild per se, but Chatham did a good job with patience at the plate. They were fouling off a lot of pitches and got a couple of hit-by pitches, which of course were just mistakes, but the walks were often due to discipline at the plate. 2-2 bounces in, and it's another full count with 2 outs. Three balls, 2 strikes. Pitch. Ball 4.
It's a tough break for Ida, getting ahead 0-2, fouls off a couple, Wilhoit stuck in there and had some nice takes, but when Ida was trying to paint it around the zone, he missed by just a little bit too much, where Wilhoit didn't bite at it. Wasn't close enough to force the chase.
So the inning extends for Jaden Melendez. And he hits this one towards shallow right field. Montgomery jogging to it, and it's going to drop in. Hustling around second. Wilhoit's going to get to third. Montgomery was jogging after that one. Don't know if he got a clean read on it, but that ball just blooped in for a base hit. R.J. Austin ended up being the closest defender to it. But a bloop single for Jaden Melendez, and they're on the corners with 2 outs now for Derek Fabian in the 9-hole. Fabian is 0 for 2. He has popped out to each corner of the wide infield.
This 1-2-3 inning has eluded YD all day. They've gotten the first 2 twice now, and after that, given up a hit. Last time it was a home run against Doc Torzik. Here, a single to put runners on the corners.
Get time call, and you're going to see an infield meeting for YD. There's some stretching going on in the bullpen, but there is no throwing, so Blake Ida will continue to carry through this game for now. Top 6, 4-1 our score. Red Sox have been somewhat lifeless offensively today. They have just 3 hits, only 1 going for extra bases. 2 of them came from Theo Hardy out of the 9-hole. YD's best scoring threat, other than when they put one across in the 4th, came in the inning prior in the 3rd. They had 2 in scoring position with 2 outs but failed to score. Blake Ida's done a good job, though, this season at holding scores where they're at. And the Red Sox need him to do that as they look for the bats to heat up. First pitch bounces in, runner goes, a pump fake, there's nobody covering the bag. Melendez briefly stopped, maybe trying to draw a throw, but the Red Sox will give him second, so he moves into scoring position. Now second and third with 2 gone. Fabian ahead in the count 1-0.
Fabian has flown out twice today. He's 0 for 2.
Swings and misses at the 1-0, offering 1-1. Check swing. That pitch dives away. Ida hasn't had as much swing and miss on the pitch in that location as we're used to seeing. First base is open, but you'd hate to load him up for the top of the order, which is on deck as Brennan Holt is 1 for 1 and has been on base all 3 times. Fabian ahead 2-1. Takes just under the zone there, ball 3.
Ida has not gotten the benefit of a few of these calls that have been really close. That one looked like it broke low at the end, but crossing the plane is really hard to tell.
Swing and a miss, and a regrettable one at that for Derek Fabian, who knew as soon as he started to move his hands that ball was not anywhere close to the zone, but had too much momentum to hold it back. It's a full count with 2 away for Fabian. Big pitch incoming. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second straight inning in relief that Blake Ida has stranded 2 and put up a 0. And he's fired up as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Austin, Montgomery, Hines due when we come back. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. R.J. Austin leading off the bottom of the 6th inning. Some first pitch chin music from Tommy Molsky, who has eaten up a lot of innings now in the start. He's into the 6th, and he's thrown just 69 pitches now after the first of this 6th inning. Austin fouls off the 1-0. Austin still hitless against Tommy Molsky this season on the Cape, 0 for 2 today. And he lines this one right side, base hit. So that'll break that up. Nice field on the backhand and right by Donahue. Prevents that from going to the wall. That would have surely spelled extra bases had it gotten there for R.J. Austin. Instead, he's limited to a single, but a potential rally starter for the power part of the order. Montgomery, Hines, and Darby, the next 3 up. Braden will start things off. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, but his last time on a wacky type of play. Swung and missed at a pitch in the dirt and then reached on a drop third after Jaden Melendez threw it over his first baseman's head. He goes first pitch swinging and fouls it off.
This is the first time YD has had a leadoff base runner, and that's in large part thanks to the fact that Tommy Molsky has yet to give up a free pass. The one run that's come across for YD has been unearned, so far for Molsky, 6 strikeouts, allowed 3 hits, and no earned runs.
Montgomery takes underneath the zone there, 1-1. Still trying to find the barrels off Tommy Molsky. That was the first hit by someone that was not named Theo Hardy or Ryan Stafford moments ago by R.J. Austin. From Montgomery down to Garza, YD a combined 0 for 10. As the 1-2 called strike 3 on the inner half of the zone. Montgomery watches it go by. That's the 3rd called strikeout for Tommy Molsky and his 8th overall. 1 away now for Hunter Hines. Hines with 2 flyouts to right. He's hit the ball decently well so far, but has gotten a little bit underneath it.
Molsky's location on that inside corner today has been flawless. That's what's rung up the YD batters every time, is that breaking ball coming across the plate and finishing inside. It looks like it's going to run in all the way in, and instead just stops.
Hines had to slide his feet away from that pitch. He's ahead 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. 78th pitch from Molsky. And Hines muscles this one out towards deep center field. Holt going back at the wall. It is gone. Hunter Hines retakes the CCBL home run and RBI lead with his 12th deep fly of the season. It's a 2-run shot. He's got 41 batted in now on the year, and the Red Sox showing signs of life in the 6th. They cut it to 1.
That was dead center, and it wasn't even close. That was at least 20 feet into the woods. It hit the trees in the air, a bomb from Hunter Hines. You could see it because Holt started running back, and he just stopped. He completely gave up on it, seeing where that ball was tracking. And now it's a 1-run game all of a sudden.
Just 1 out in the inning for Xander Darby, who had the only RBI for YD prior to just moments ago, the 2-run homer from Hunter Hines. Darby ahead 1-0. It's almost like Hines has an inner sensor that tells him when somebody's creeping on his heels in terms of the RBIs and the home runs in which he has led for pretty much the whole season.
It's really impressive because Mathis has now tied him twice, and both times that same game immediately after Hines has hit a home run.
Broken bat liner right side, jumping catch made by Derek Fabian, who robs Xander Darby of a base hit. Shattered his bat. Had he not broken it, that's probably sailing over the second baseman Derek Fabian's head, but in getting jammed up, He loses the lumber, and now there are 2 away for Dub Gleed. Nice catch, by the way, by Fabian.
Not an easy one.
First pitch is upstairs to Gleed, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a groundout. We saw yesterday in Brewster a scenario where a bat was broken. As Gleed fouled that one off the knob of his bat. That'll make it a 1-1 count. And the handle stayed in the hands of the batter, and the barrel flew all the way over YD's dugout and over the protective netting above it and into the stands. Gleed flies the 1-1 to the middle infield. From short, Forsythe makes the two-handed grab, and that retires the inning. But a 2-run shot from Hunter Hines puts him back atop the league lead in homers and RBIs, and more importantly, it brings the Red Sox within 1 in this game. YD finally with a little bit of momentum offensively. It's 4-3 Chatham headed to the 7th on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Stay tuned.
Top of the 7th, this one is flying by here at Red Wilson. Blake Ida still on the mound facing off against Brennan Holt. Top of the order again for Chatham. It's the 4th time through, and Holt has reached in all 3 of his plate appearances with 2 walks and a bunt single as a first pitch slider comes in off the plate. 4-strike-1.
That was a flaming slider, power slider there from Blake Ida.
Similar pitch, strike 2. This one over the heart of the plate, a little less movement on the fastball. Ida blows it by him, and Holt has yet to swing, down 0-2. YD is now only down by 1. It's 4-3. Holt lines it into right field, and that's a base hit. He reaches for the 4th time today, a blazing hot day for Brennan Holt.
Seeing the ball well, 2-strike hitting. Got out in front of that one and just roped it for a base knock. He has gotten things to go his way in pretty much every fashion so far. A bunt single, now a regular old single in addition to his 2 walks. It's been a good day for him at the top of the Chatham order. He's been a big reason why the Anglers lead in this game.
Holt transferred to Oklahoma State from LSU. It's flown out towards foul territory on the left side. Gleed chasing after it, but is nowhere close off the bat of Lane Forsythe. Redshirted at LSU, then transferred to Oklahoma State, and now is transferring again to Southern Alabama.
The Jaguars.
There is another Southern Alabama guy in the league, plays for Bourne. 0-1 now to Forsythe. 1 runner on, nobody out. Pick off, and Holt scampering back.
Is it the University of South Alabama? Are they USA?
I believe they are.
They are.
USA. 0-1. Chopped foul up the third baseline. Nice break, late swing from Forsyth, and he's down 0-2.
And it is abbreviated to USA.
I believe there's some red and blue in there as well.
There
Maybe
is,
a
there.
navy.
Red, white, and blue, that's the colors. That fits well.
Pump fake towards first, but Garza holds it back, and the count runs to 1-2 on the ball. Nice crowd here at YD on a Monday afternoon, last day of July. The 1-2 pushed foul at the end, right into the fence towards our camera.
Almost. Friend of the broadcast, Win Scott, warming up in the YD bullpen.
Scott joined our broadcast 2 days ago. Was that yesterday? No, 2 days ago.
It was 2
Harwich.
days. It's hard to keep track this late in the year.
Fourth foul ball of the at-bat will stay at 1-2. We've really seen YD move away from the shift as the season's gone on, and I don't know if that's because with the wood bats, they're a lot less predictable than the metal bats or what, but we haven't seen that really, really aggressive 3 to one side of the bag shift in a long time, it feels like. More pickoffs from Ida over towards first, really keeping Brennan Holt at bay. Tyler Wilhoit on deck. And Forsyth bumps it up foul coming towards us, and it drops into the bleachers right in front of us. Sounded not so good, definitely hit some metal. Should also be noted that Ryan Stafford has moved behind the plate. Previously gone unnoticed. RJ Austin's out in left field.
Is that Ryan Jackson at second?
Looks like Ryan Jackson at second. Count still 1-2 to Lane Forsyth as the umpire called for new balls. That's what the break was due to. Everyone heading back out. Ida set, fires, falls away, ball 2. There have been 5 foul balls in this at-bat off the bat of Lane Forsyth. Counts 2-2. 8th pitch of the at-bat on the way. Ida fires away from the zone again, ball 3, the count's full. Full count, nobody out, pitch on the way, check swing, and he went across and the strike is called anyways. Forsyth is appalled at the decision. Might have broken the plane. It was called regardless, and Blake Ida comes up in the clutch for strike 3. That gets the first out of the inning, and Tyler Wilhoit, who's 1 for 3, singled his first time around, has since flown out twice. He's back at the plate.
And Chatham has really made Blake Ida work, but he has done exactly what he's needed to do out of the bullpen so far.
Wilhoit, long fly out towards shallow center field. That went a lot shallower than expected off the bat, but Jackson tracks out to get it, the second baseman, and that's 2 gone quickly. Easy at bat for Ida there.
Finally.
Next up, out of Hawaii, number 10, Tyson Donahue.
I mean, he's gone 2 2/3 innings. He's thrown 62 pitches now, and he hasn't given up a run. How often do you see something like that where you're throwing that many pitches in couple innings of scoreless work. Just shows how long all these at-bats have been.
First pitch cranked foul from Kyson Donahue on a line. He pulled it all the way around, but it made it almost out towards the fence, over the bleachers into the Chatham bullpen. The 0-1, just off the plate, ball one. Donahue, the Florida native, the All-Big West honorable mention. We have a couple of Big West guys on the Red Sox. UCI, UCSB, the 1-1 pickoff back towards first, really close. Holt is called safe, but it was by inches, maybe. Swing and a miss, strike two. Sometimes when you have momentum like that and you get the huge swing and a miss, it just feels like it should be strike three. And then you realize it's not. You have to calm yourself down a little bit. But the count moves to 1-2 on Kyson Donahue, one runner on. 2 outs, top of the 7th, a 1-run ball game. YD can bite back into this one in the bottom half. It's flown a mile high and foul. Sprinting over Montgomery, but he doesn't have a play on it as it reaches all the way out towards the Chatham bullpen and out of play, but a deep ball from Donahue. Second foul ball in this at-bat that's gone really far out there on good barrel contact, but nowhere close to fair territory. Ida wiggling his fingers. And ball two is dealt on the outside half. Two and two with two gone. Kyson Donahue, 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a fly out pitch on the way. Bumped foul again towards his own dugout. His teammates bouncing out of the way. This game feels like it's been slow, but it's actually gone by rather fast. We're at the top of the 7th, but you have these moments that just feel like they're taking forever. Runner goes on the hit and run 2-2, but it's fouled back. And we'll stay at 2-2 as Holt forced to return to first. He got a pretty good jump on it. Ida always has so much energy on the mound. You can see it coming through. 2-2 bounces in. Garza keeps it in front. Nicely done. Excuse me, Stafford. Forgot about that defensive change, and it's another full count. The last one ended up in a strikeout looking. We'll see where this one goes as Ida has it at 3-2. Donahue has found some hard contact in foul territory and awaits the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Ida fires, bumped foul again, will do it again. 10th pitch coming for Kyson Donahue. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike three. 10th pitch, Ida gets him swinging. A strikeout ends it. Scoreless for Ida once again. He has been a magician working himself out of these jams, and we head to the stretch. A one-run game. Chatham leads 4-3 at Red Wilson Field. Ryan Jackson leads off in the place of Manny Garza as we're in the bottom of the 7th, and YD down by just 1 run after a 2-run bomb from Hunter Hines, dead center. Put him within striking distance as Jackson fouls away pitch number 1 for strike number 1. It's Jackson's first time around. The middle infielder out of USC, that's Southern California, not South Carolina. Have some guys from both teams in this league. The 0-1 on the way. Just breaks down at the last minute, called strike 2. Tommy Molsky back out there. He's still in the mid-high 80s for pitches, but 7th inning from the starter. Jackson checks his swing. They say he went around. It's really that call just plagued YD all season, it feels like. But Jackson retired on 3 pitches, and it's Theo Hardy who's 2 for 2 today. First pitch ball flies away in the righty box to Hardy, who's batting from the left side. Molsky's working quickly here. Check swing from Hardy. Did not go around. Ball 2.
Molsky's pitch count in the last inning, in his 6th inning of work, was around what Blake Idas currently is, who just finished up his 3rd inning in relief.
The 2-0 ripped up the middle. Another base hit for Theo Hardy. That one cracked on the ground. He is 3 for 3. How about that?
He's just plugging away, doing his thing. YD has failed to push him across, but I mean, then you cannot ask for a better day out of your 9-hitter than just getting you base hit after base hit after base hit. Trying to start rallies for the top of your order. See if the top of the YD order can finally come up clutch, as the Red Sox are starting to run out of time, but a very small deficit at hand, and maybe they have potentially finally chased Tommy Molsky out of this game.
Looks like that might be the day with a righty. Looks like a hard-throwing righty warming up in the Chatham pen. Meeting on the mound as we flip the lineup back to the top with Enzo Apodaca, who's 0 for 3. He went down on that same kind of sword call on the appeal to the base umpire that we saw happen to Ryan Jackson just now. And there will be a call to the bullpen. So we'll step aside, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Chatham leads 4 to 3. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Still in the bottom of the 7th, there's been a pitching change finally for Chatham. It feels like Tommy Molsky was in there forever, got through 6 1/3 before finally being run out of the game. Enzo Apodaca will be the first to face Ryan Verdugo out of CSU Bakersfield. First pitch on the way, drops low. 4-1. 6'2", just finished up his sophomore year. He's a righty out of South El Monte, California. Was a starter for CSUB. The 1-0 drops low once again. Melendez tried to frame it up but doesn't get the call. And Apodaca 0 for 3. 2-0 flies in on him. He's ahead 3-0. YD could get a rally going here. Still have not benefited from a free pass all day, and Verdugo's at risk of doing it here in the first batter he faces. The 3-0 clips the top of the zone, strike 1 on the fastball.
Verdugo's done a pretty good job limiting walks at school. So far here on Cape Cod, he's walked 5 in just under 5 innings, 4 2/3 across his first 3 appearances.
3-1 to Apodaca. It's on the way inside, ball 4. And Apodaca with the bat toss towards the dugout brings up Ryan Stafford.
Next up, out of Cal Poly, number 7, Ryan Stafford.
Tommy Molsky, by the way, without any free passes, also finished with 9 strikeouts.
Pretty good for 6 1/3 innings. This ball 1 drops into Stafford. It was 1 for 3, reached on an error, then doubled, then went down swinging. Austin on deck. The hits have just started to come for YD. 3 of 6 of them have been off the bat of Theo Hardy as ball 2 flies in low.
Hardy has been good at the bottom of the order, and Hunter Hines really came to the rescue. It felt like if YD didn't score in that last inning, that they would continue to just slog along in this game, and that 2-run shot was huge for YD. Really felt like they were in this one coming into this inning.
Big cut and a miss, and the throw down to first almost gets him. Apodaca got caught leaning towards second. A nice one from Melendez, but Apodaca just sneaks back in there. The count moves to 2-1 with 1 out on Stafford. Double play could be in effect here with runners on first and second. And Apodaca swings away to even it up at 2. The 2-2 on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. Stafford chases on the fastball going away towards the lefty box, and there's 2 gone for RJ Austin with the go-ahead run on first base.
Need a clutch hit here. You started the rally, but you need RJ Austin to come through for you.
Holds off as ball 1 flies away. Nice one on the slider.
And knowing Austin, he's going to have eyes on the right side of the infield, as now Chatham's going to plug up that gap a little bit. It was very wide, and now Derek Fabian's going to go over to cover the push side.
Huge cut and miss from Austin at the top of the zone. It's 1-1. RJ is leading YD in average at 330 coming into today. The yellow sleeve for the Vanderbilt Commodores. 1-1. Popped up foul and out of play. One and two, 2 on, YD down by 1. It's been tight these last couple of innings. Chatham pitching has really come through today. And Austin grounds it up towards third. This should be quick and easy, as it is, in the 5 unassisted from Tyler Wolfert for the force at third. Retires the side and the scoring threat from YD. They leave 2 more on. That's 6 total left on base, heading to the top of the 8th. You are watching YD Baseball. It's 4-3 Chatham on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
End of the 7th inning. USC number 56.
Top of the 8th, Bryce Martin Grudzelanek is leading off for Chatham. He's 0 for 2, but has reached on a hit by pitch, got nailed between the letters on the back by Jason Doktorzik a while ago. And since the 4th, Chatham has been scoreless, as Blake Ida came in relief here. He deals a first pitch ball, and the check swing does not go around. The USC Trojan, first time we're seeing him in the DH spot, as a perfectly placed curve comes in for strike 1.
Win Scott has been up and down in the YD bullpen. He's been throwing out there for a while, periodically here and there. He's back up.
The 1-1 just off the plate. Chatham has not chased at all today. They have been really disciplined, and it's been really hard for YD to get strikes on anything that's not in the zone. There's a swing and a miss on one that dropped low. It's 2-2. Grounded back up towards Ida. Nice reflexes, jogs over to first and tosses it to Dub Gleed. And there will be a pitching change, it looks like, on the mound for YD, as Win Scott is jogging in from the bullpen, hopefully to close things out with 1 out in the top of the 8th. We'll be right back after a quick break on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Back in the top of the 8th, and Win Scott out of NC State has taken over. Luke and I got to know him pretty well when he joined us for 2 innings on the broadcast 2 days ago. First pitch drops in, check swing. Did not go around from Caden Kent, who hit a home run earlier today. Scott had a solid first outing with YD. ERA of 0 as the 1-0 flies in a little inside for ball 2. Pitched 1 inning, faced, and he allowed 3 hits, but came away with the bases loaded, stranded him. Ball 3 bounces in there, and he starts off 3-0 against Kent. There's a strike on the outside half. And he's back in the count. Here's that shift we were talking about with 3 on the right side of second. 1, that's Jackson, backed up into the shallow outfield. Another strike. That horizontal break is something special. Full count. Scott square to the plate, into the wind. Ball 4. Drops just low, was trying to square it up like he did the last 2, but does not get the break this time. Misses a little too far outside, and Chatham has their first base runner of the inning.
Yeah, just let that one get away a little bit. It was good that he could get 2 comeback pitches, kind of paint on the outside half there and get it back to a full count, but just couldn't find that same type of location.
Pick off lightly over towards first. Just got it out of his hand. Looks like he got caught up a little bit, but had to throw it over there to avoid the balk. First pitch comes in low to Trace Wilhoit, who is 1 for 2, home run, strikeout, and a walk. Scott fires, and it's hit well out towards the gap in left center field, going back to the wall, and it is gone. The 3rd Chatham home run of the day, 2nd off the bat of Trace Wilhoit. And once again, Chatham opens up this lead at 6-3. What a day for Trace Wilhoit.
Scott was just trying to get a strike there and just left one up. That was pretty hittable pitch for Wilhoit. Unfortunate there for Win, but he's got to keep this now at a 3-run game. Still manageable at this point for YD. They're still in rally territory, but you got to prevent further damage.
First pitch strikes comes into Melendez. Ball 1 drops just low. Scott now coming in with the gas on the fastball. We were seeing a lot of the breaking stuff to start things off. Those last 2 were speed, as is that one. Blows it by Melendez, who swings it late and misses strike 2. Scott moving fast. The 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That fastball worked well for him. Used it throughout the whole time against Melendez, and there's 2 gone in the top of the 8th. Derek Fabian 0 for 3, 2 flyouts and a strikeout in the 9-hole today for the Anglers. Ball 1 flies in offside, but I thought that was ball 1. Actually strike 1 as Stafford frames it up on the outside corner. The 0-1 on the ground towards second. This should be it. Scooped by Jackson. Toss in time. 3 outs in the 8th, but Chatham adds to that. Long ball has been the story of the day for the Anglers. They lead 6-3, heading to the home half of the 8th on the Cape League Broadcast Network. bottom half of the 8th. And Braden Montgomery leads things off for YD. It's the power part of the lineup once again with Montgomery, followed by Hines. As ball 1 comes in, almost hits him, but he just gets out of the way from Ryan Verdugo, who has gone 2/3 of an inning now. Montgomery chops it foul up the first base line. It's 1-1. He's 0 for 3 today, reached on the error off that drop third strike. Probably one of the flukiest plays we've seen all season, reaching second on a strikeout. The 1-1 here. Ripped up the middle under the feet of Verdugo, and YD has a leadoff base runner. That was almost identical to Theo Hardy's last knock. And there is one aboard for Hunter Hines.
Yeah, just a good approach. You need base runners. That's not a pitch you're going to be able to get underneath and really drive, but just pound the bat to it if you're Braden Montgomery and get on base. That's what you need for YD.
First pitch on the way to Hines. Big cut and miss underneath it, strike 1. We've seen 1 home run from Hines today, 1 deep fly at the fence that looked like it might sneak out of there, but was caught where the warning track would be if there was one. Here he's down 0-1 with a runner on, pitch on the way. It sounded like a broken bat out towards shallow center field. Coming in on the dive, Brennan Holt makes the grab. Anything off the bat of Hines will carry just a little bit further than you initially expect, and those last couple of feet were just enough for Holt to get underneath it as he's retired on the fly out to center.
Yeah, it looked like it might be a bloop shot off the bat, but like you said, just ended up coming out towards the middle level of the outfield, and Brennan Holt makes a nice catch on the move.
Xander Darby waving the bat as strike 1 comes in on the outside half. The lefty out of UC Santa Barbara is right behind Hines in terms of the team lead in home runs, but he has 3 of them. Hines has 12 now. The 0-1 flies high and away. And it's a ball and a strike to number 12. He's 0 for 3 today. Haven't seen a lot of those days from him. He's been one of the most consistent guys in the lineup, especially when just going for base hits. And this 1-1 on the ground towards short. This could be the inning. The turn is in time from second, and the double play ends it. YD leaves the leadoff base runner aboard, and they'll only have 3 outs left to work with in the 9th, as Chatham will be back at the plate going 1-2-3 when we're back on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the 9th, and Chatham leads 6-3. Starting off, the guy that they want, as Brennan Holtz at the plate goes away swinging for strike 1. He has reached in all 4 of his plate appearances with 2 hits and 2 walks. Down 0-1 against Wynn Scott. Chops it on the ground towards second off the bounce. in time from Jackson. He takes a pump before the bullet over to Gleed. It was actually a pretty close one as Holt was bolting up the line. He's one of the faster guys on Chatham, but 2 pitches, 1 out here in the 9th. Chatham already has a comfortable lead at 3 runs. YD has had some late game heroics in the past. They'll be at the bottom of their order with Gleed, Jackson, and Hardy coming up. First pitch flies well away to Lane Forsyth. Forsyth out of Mississippi State, college teammate of Hunter Hines. Going into his senior year there, he's a native of Humboldt, Tennessee. Counts 1-1, the field in shadows. Scott delivers, runs way inside, breaks almost perfectly around Forsyth. And Stafford is there to collect behind the plate. 2-1 on the way, and it's away in the outside box. It's 3-1. Scott has fallen behind in a couple of counts now. Let's see what he does here. Soft contact, bounced into fair territory, and Stafford quickly to it. Guns it down to Gleed for out number 2. Looked like Manny Garza's hits from earlier in the game, but on the 3-1 count, Scott escapes, and Stafford gets the 2-3 put out. Tyler Wilhoit, 1 for 4, singled in the first. Since then, nothing, as strike 1 comes in on the outside half. He's been underneath it. We've seen some hard contact, but he's popped it up, goes swinging there for strike 2. Chatham down to the last strike of the inning. Scott shrugs the shoulders into the wind. The pitch chopped straight up the middle. The backhand from Jackson, and the throw in time. What a play from the USC second baseman, Ryan Jackson. Momentum taking him the opposite direction, but gets the turn and just in time. YD finally gets the elusive 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 9th. We'll head to the bottom half looking for a comeback. You are watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. It is rally time, and Dub Gleed will start it off against Ryan Verdugo, trailing by 3. YD will try to come back and walk it off. It's a tall task, or maybe even tie it and send it to the 10th. The 1-0 at the bottom of the zone, strike 1. Gleed out of UC Irvine. He's the original Dub on the team. We have another Dub now as Win Scott, who was just pitching. He likes to go by Dub too as a nickname. 3-2-1, flown foul over our heads. I'd never met a dub before coming to this team, and now I know 2 of them, so that's pretty special. 2-2 to dub lead. Pitch on the way, just off the plate. Dangerous take goes his way as the count runs full. The payoff, runs inside, ball 4. Gleed walks to start things off.
All right. Here we go. Ryan Jackson, Theo Hardy, 2 of your better contact hitters. Jackson, best hitter by average on this team. And Theo Hardy, probably the hottest hitter today, right behind him.
Theo Hardy in the 9-hole is 3 for 3 with 3 singles. First pitch to Jackson, nicely framed at the bottom part of the zone. 0-1. Gleed with a small lead at first, not trying to risk anything. We haven't seen him attack the base paths as ball 1 falls low. Melendez keeps it in front. 7 hits apiece for both of these squads, but for YD it's been single bases, and for Chatham it's been all the extra bases. Verdugo fires, bunt is shown and laid down up the third baseline. It's a really nice one. Jackson has a chance at it, and he's safe. Perfectly done from Ryan Jackson. It was unexpected after swinging away at that first one. Chatham was caught off guard, and Wilhoit decided to just eat it.
That's clutch stuff, and that's just the guy wanting to win a game. That's not a super attractive thing to do, but that is what wins. Lay down a bunt, run it out for a single. That is big-time stuff from Ryan Jackson. Now let's see if Theo Hardy can keep this perfect day going.
There is another righty warming in the Chatham bullpen.
I checked last batter, and there was no one up, so that means that that pitcher has just gotten going. So if Chatham wants to get a new arm, they're going to have to do probably a little bit of stalling.
First pitch to Theo Hardy flies away. 3 for 3, as we said before. He's just been putting it on a line all over the field. 1 up the middle, 1 to right, and 1 to left center. Shortstop out of San Jose State. 2 runners on. And Verdugo paints the outside half for strike 1. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd, perhaps disagreeing. Looked like a nice pitch from here, just on that outside half.
I think it was perfectly placed.
The 1-1 check swing called strike 2. Bottom half of the zone, Hardy will fight from behind at 1-2 with 2 aboard, nobody out. 9th inning. Bottom half, YD at home, a lot on the line in terms of the East Division here. And ball 2 drops low. A lot of backdoor curve on that, but fell too low to break into the zone. Hardy locked in right now. Pitch on the way. Flared foul towards left field. There won't be a play on that. We'll stay at 2-2. The whole YD team at the front of the dugout, leaning on the fence in anticipation. Verdugo checks his lead runner, now fires. Hardy swings away at ball 3. What would have been high and inside ran in on him, and Verdugo just fooled him. Hardy spinning around on the strike 3. He's retired for the first time today. There's 1 gone for Enzo Apodaca, who reached on a walk his last time, but has yet to successfully put the bat to ball today. Swings away here, bloop shot towards short, caught on the run by Lane Forsythe. And all of a sudden, there's 2 gone. The tying run is at the plate, represented by Ryan Stafford, who has a double today.
Out of Cal Poly, number 7, Ryan Stafford.
Dangerous territory here for YD. Stafford has 1 home run this season, as does RJ Austin, who follows him up. A lazy pickoff move over towards second, but he doesn't throw the ball and is now back on the bump. Righty on righty, first pitch. Off the plate, ball 1. If Stafford could even hold for the free pass here, Austin, Montgomery, Hines coming up, you get back to that power contact hitting part of the lineup. Check swing does not go, ball 2. Huge cut and miss from Stafford, so huge that it threw off the elbow guard, which he tosses back to the dugout. No need for that. We've seen that before from him. It seems like he might need a new elbow guard. A smaller size, perhaps. 2-1, pushed foul, strike 2. Stafford's on top of it after that couple of claps, but it is almost silent here at Red Wilson as YD is down to the final strike of the game, trying to avoid their second loss in a row at home. Two and two gone, bottom of the 9th. And Stafford chops it really high in the infield. He might have a chance at this, and he does. The lucky break. That is clutch. He pushed it so hard into the ground, almost like a slap hit in softball, that it bounced with enough time to give him to run it out. Bases loaded for RJ Austin. 2 infield singles in the inning.
Keep it going.
Austin is 1 for 4. His first time facing Verdugo. First pitch gets away behind the plate. All the runners advance, and YD's within 2.
That is huge because RJ Austin is not a very big extra base hit type of guy. And because of that, that moves the tying run into scoring position, and he could tie this game with just a base hit. And that feels a whole lot more doable, I think, with RJ Austin at the plate than needing an extra base.
Puts it on the ground towards second, an easy chopper. Fabian has it in time, and that's the game reached, and it was off the end of his bat. The YD rally falls short. Final score is 6-4 Chatham, and all of a sudden it looks a lot closer than it did before. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. In the bottom of the 3rd, Orleans leads Harwich at Eldridge Park. We'll keep a close eye on that one with an Orleans win tomorrow. Becomes a lot more important. Luke, this one was a game that YD fell behind at the beginning. Once Hines put up 2, it looked like they might have a fighting chance, but once again, it's been the run support at the end of the games that has not come through. The long ball has been a problem these last 2 home games, 2 yesterday, 3 today, off opposing bats. And tomorrow facing Orleans at home with the division possibly on the line.
Yeah, this is not a very pitcher-friendly ballpark, and YD has done a good job, I think, all season at kind of avoiding that as much as they possibly could. But the reality is that, you know, home runs are going to be hit at this ballpark. It is very small. It plays very small, and, you know, YD just kind of got stung on that today. But, you know, not all is lost as the Red Sox still have that lead. The biggest game to this point in the regular season will be tomorrow as they will take on Orleans. That could end up determining the division. A tough one for the Red Sox to take here today, but there's no time to sit around and gripe about it. They got another one that they really need to win tomorrow afternoon.
Absolutely, Luke, and we'll be back for our final home game. Luke and I will finally be taste testing the famous YD Donut Burgers. Really excited for that, and can't ask for better drama than this. The two teams at the top of the league facing each other in the second to last game. It'll be YD and Orleans. Start time 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. As always, thank you so much for watching YD Baseball. It's been Perri, Kitei, Luke West, Poley, and from our producer Anna Tedeschi. Final score in this one, 6-4.